All right. Hello. Sorry about that. Hello. Welcome back to Tea Time Talk. As usual, today is... Wait, hold on. Let me check that. Today is November 18th. Welcome to Tea Time Talk. As usual, I am your host of the show. My name is Fritz. And as usual, I am joined by my special guests, Reuben and Nezar. How are you both doing today?
Doing good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, thanks.
First of all, thank you for coming to the show again, as usual. I hope that you'll have a good time. Also, to those listening, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Hopefully, you'll have a good time as well. So, just a bit to explain a bit about the show. In the first half, we do tend to do news stories of what's happened in the week. Tend to discuss things that interesting things or news stories that have happened. And then towards the second half, we tend to discuss things that are more sort of interesting to us in general. But I'll leave it up to you, Reuben and Nezar. What have we got? What have we got today then? What do you guys want to suggest for today?
Well, there is stuff. There's lots of news.
Yeah.
Sure. That's all I've got.
There's also news.
There is news. I'm thinking, how about the Robert Mugabe stuff?
Okay, so Robert Mugabe. From what I can remember, there has been a military coup in Zimbabwe against President Robert Mugabe. The aim of this coup, well, they haven't really explained it yet, but the aim of this coup is to, well, they say that they're ensuring the safety of Robert Mugabe and his family, but it seems like it is to ensure that Robert Mugabe's wife doesn't necessarily doesn't necessarily take over after him, because she has already started putting in plans and ideas about removing opposition forces, removing those that stand against her, so that she can then take power once her husband passes away. And I think her husband's like 93 years old. I think Robert's 93 or 91, one or the other. But, of course, the military have stated a coup because they don't want her in power. But she obviously is trying to do things to ensure that she's the one in power. That's a bit of a background there. Now we're currently in the state of whether Robert Mugabe is left or not. We don't know. There's still continuing discussions going on in regards to that. But what are your opinions? What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, I don't know, Nezar, what do you say?
Well, I mean, I could understand from the beginning the military coup part if they're not okay with the idea that somebody would have to take over, like she's trying to take over her husband, right?
Yep.
I could understand, let's say, what were their opinions? Were they when he was in charge? What was kind of like the overall opinions on like his?
Well, this is a man that's ruled the country for over 3 decades.
Okay.
Nearing 4 decades. He's been quite. I don't know. Since I don't know much about Zimbabwe, but I do. It's been here and there. He's had some good things, but plenty of bad things. You know, the murder of innocent people, practically corruption. Borderline across the entire.
So the people in the country, there's people that's going to say good things about him, there's people that's going to say bad things. Okay, so in a way I can understand if we're going off the logic that they don't like the idea that she's being handed the role, I guess. Because that's just not how political power should be. It's more
like she's taking advantage of him. She's because he's old and because he's not as powerful as he once was, she's now taking political decisions on the basis of for him. So it's unfair again.
Yeah, it's just that, and it's like, you can't just hand that power to somebody. Like the idea of just family, like leadership, just she might not be fit to rule the country. You should give it to a candidate that is, and that should be decided by the people.
Yeah. So
I can understand to some extent why you'd want to do like a military coup, and it's happened in countries all the time when they're not satisfied with their leader. So. It's kind of that's something to expect, if you ask me.
So what about you, Reuben?
I say they need to get out of there. I think it should be peaceful as possible. Obviously, the coup should happen, but it should be more peaceful. Make sure that no one dies, no one gets killed, or anything like that. But do get rid of Mugabe, because if he's too old to lead, then that's fair. And also the fact that the wife is now taking over. I don't think that should be right. I don't think that's right at all.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think it should be more like they should abdicate. Not abdicate. Is that a good way of saying it?
Pass on.
They should make it democratic. So they should leave, and then it should be like vote for your next. Because obviously they haven't had that luxury because it's been for 3 decades.
Yeah.
It's been the same person. They haven't had the ability to have a democracy.
Well, this sort of relates wider to the whole sort of how Africa as a nation, as a continent, has their leaders, how their leaders are. Because there's a not similar, but there's a situation going on in another country in Western Africa called Togo, where people are coming up, standing up together and standing up against the president, because the president there is the president is the son of the former president who led the country for, I'm pretty sure, 40 years.
Wow. Okay, so
in the country of Togo, there was a former president, Gnassingbé Eyadema, who died. I don't remember when he died, but he died a while ago. And then, for some reason, his son just ended up taking up the presidency afterwards. But of course, now the son is going for 3 consecutive terms. But it seems like it's people didn't vote for him. People didn't want him. People wanted change. But he's saying one thing, and the media, other opposition forces, people are saying another thing. So what they're trying to do now, I believe, is that they're trying to get a law where you can only have 3 consecutive terms, and that's it.
that should be implemented.
That sounds fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
That sounds fair. You can do it in, for the biggest example, the presidency in America, you're only allowed 2 terms, but I think that should be fair, so you can't just pass it on to whoever you want to pass it on to. It should be a decision by the people, for the people.
Okay, but do you think in those cases where, because there are clearly African nations that wouldn't want to do that, do you think that it's fair for example, let's say the West to intervene in those situations to ensure a legitimate democratic government?
If the people are okay with that, okay with having a government that's that have their terms very long and they draw out their rule, then no, the West shouldn't intervene. But if there is a genuine concern or what's the word? If there's genuine concern by the people or worries or if the people aren't happy with it, then I think that the West should intervene if the people are unhappy, truly unhappy, that is.
Okay, what do you think, Nezar? Do you think the West should involve in these kind of situations?
That's a hard question to answer, because there are cases where the West have done that before a lot of times. A very recent example, Syria.
And Libya.
Yeah. But there's people who would argue, a country's problems, should be dealt by that country, but sometimes a country just can't do it itself. Do you know what I mean? Right. Sometimes it needs the support of countries like that. But when should we interfere? That's the question. And I guess once it gets to a global, not once it becomes globally aware and people are loads of people are seeing it. That might be a bad way to answer though, because then the country could just keep it secret and do all their bad stuff.
That's what's happening with the country I was referring to earlier.
Yeah.
Because my parents are from that country, I know what's happening. But if I wasn't from that country or my parents weren't from that country, I wouldn't know at all that it was happening.
Okay, so ideally I'd like them to help in a country like that, but it's hard to if news isn't getting out there. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you know what? Yeah, I'm a believer of we should be helping each other, because there's benefits to helping other countries. You're going to be making more long-term allies with countries like that if you help them out, and obviously there's benefits for not getting involved at all. Right. But one day, what if we're in a situation where we need help and nobody wants to help us, that kind of thing?
Well, from the way I see it that it shouldn't necessarily be the West is used sort of loosely, so
yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have said the West. Maybe I should have said nations or intergovernmental organizations like the UN or something. But for me, I don't think that intergovernmental organizations should necessarily have a key part in solving these things.
Yeah.
But I think it should be more the nation surrounding a country in dismay. If we're talking, for example, a crisis like Syria, it should be the responsibilities of the nations surrounding Syria to organize and sort the problems out. It shouldn't be the responsibility of the US or Russia or a country far, far, far away to make the decisions on behalf of the Syrian people.
I could agree with that 100%. Yeah.
I feel like because there's such cultural differences between let's say, for example, the UK, the US, and somewhere like Syria. There's so many different cultural differences, ideological differences. There's different understandings. Of course, when I say that, that's putting a sort of an idealistic spin on it that the neighboring countries will know what to do. Yeah,
that's true. That's a very
But there's also a concern, obviously if other countries do help, then sometimes... Hang on, let me get closer. Hello. Sometimes they could find ways of, for instance, some land could be taken, well, not taken away, but there will be certain agreements that will help you if.
Yeah, exactly.
And so... I feel like with other countries surrounding, they can be really helpful. They could obviously help out, as you said, but at the same time, I do feel like some countries might be a bit mean.
Yeah, I think like in like the idea of a perfect world, we'd all like all the surrounding countries would help each other.
Yeah,
but it's hard. It's just hard to like want to help somebody when realistically you're getting not a lot in return, and it's not benefiting your people much, but you're doing like a good deed for a different country. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like, you got to understand, like, some leaders just, they have to be like, they have to weigh it up and be like, is it worth it?
Yeah.
To like, that's why with a Syria situation, like, a lot of people, you know, the surrounding countries, they could if they wanted to, but they're not getting involved at all.
That's the thing with the UN,
intergovernmental organization.
Yes, it.
Wait, is it an No, it's a non-governmental organization.
Oh, non-governmental, yeah.
Yeah, non-governmental organization.
With stuff like that, obviously, I don't know if they would see any. I mean, they'd probably have some way of profiting, but agendas, obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't think they have the same level of "we'll help you if." Unless, of course, they'll help. They'll probably choose who they help and who they don't help, which is wrong in my opinion. I think they should help whoever needs the help. But at the same time, it's like, you know, they'd probably have less. What's the word? They wouldn't have a price on their help.
I think the problem is sometimes other countries actually benefit from countries that do, like, you know, for example, let's say there's a country doing bad thing to its public, to its people, but that leader is good to those other countries, so those other countries wouldn't want to, like, take him off power.
That too.
Yeah.
Whereas the UN obviously, since it's a non-government organization, they don't have that same allegiance.
Yeah.
Well, you could flip the switch on that one. Then you could say that some countries within the UN would
nice
want
to the UN.
The benefits. Of
it's honestly a complicated discussion to have, because it's like, when should people interfere? And it's like, there's so many factors to deciding when is the right time to, like, help another country, I'd say, because you helping another country or other countries helping other countries there can be so much backlash to that. Like, other countries might not like the fact that you help that country and now you're on bad terms with them, kind of thing.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, because some countries would have that. Oh, we like that government, but now they're gone because of this other country / organization. Yeah. And then the other countries start hating the UN or start hating this country or start hating.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they had good relations with the government
that's why you get a lot of countries that just like to play it neutral and not do anything and not side with anyone, because they don't.
Yeah, exactly. That was what I was going to raise next. Would you prefer taking the Russia stance where you don't intervene at all, or would you prefer the more American stance of we have to intervene because it's our job as the global police to intervene?
Well, if you first. Okay, well, if you're taking the neutral stance, you have to be able to accept the consequences. So we're not going to help anyone, but don't expect help in return. Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
Obviously Russia's a different case because it's a very powerful country, but something like on a smaller scale, a country like Jordan in the Middle East is like that country for years in cases, just going back to history, and when other Arab countries have been in a case where they're like fighting with Israel for whatever reason, Jordan has been the most neutral and kind of stayed out of it, kind of thing. That in itself is kind of like, you know, I'm not going to do anything, I'm just going to care about my own people. But then there's going to be a situation, who knows, somebody does something to them and you didn't help us, you're staying neutral. You know, it's you got to pick your allies wisely, I guess. But so even just staying neutral isn't necessarily the right choice, necessarily. Depends on the situation. I guess in Russia's case, it's kind of just alright, isn't it? Because they're just like, well, we could just probably solve our own problems.
Well, Russia has their own problems to solve anyway.
Yeah.
Reuben, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that obviously with the whole, like, being neutral isn't a necessarily good thing. It's a bit, you know, obviously not helping people in the long term may make you out to be a bit of, like, you know, someone who isn't a friend or an ally.
Someone who doesn't care.
Someone who doesn't care about the other parts of the world. But then again, at the other side of the spectrum, when you have America, you know, a quote from a comic book I read is, "Who watches the Watchmen?" So it's who's the people who, like, obviously if you're intervening into other countries, who's saying what you do is right? What's are you justified in doing your actions? For instance, sometimes you go into some countries, but you won't go into other countries because of your agenda. It's not necessarily. It's not as black as white as, oh, these people are in trouble, we're going to help them. There's, there is still that politics.
Yeah, I'd agree with that 100%. The whole helping countries thing isn't black and white at all. There's so much like grey area to like that kind of thing.
It's always why I'm skeptic surrounding whenever very skeptical when a country suggests intervening in another country's affairs. Like, what reasoning would you have? Why did the UK want to intervene in Libya? Was it because they say humanitarian reasons, or is it because, of course,
and
I'm sure that's what the public would like to.
Well, of course they'll say what the public wants to hear.
And also, are you in a position to actually carry out? Are you of sound mind to do that? Are you willing to judge the situation and make an action?
Right. Yeah.
Are you in that position? Are you in the moral? Safe ground?
Yeah.
That's the question that's really being posed.
Or of a genuine? Are
you genuinely helping, or are you just doing this for
your own sake?
Something.
Like, are you of a general neutral base, or are you just wanting to do something because you want something in return?
And who decides who helps as well? When I say no, who decides who helps? I mean, like, sorry, I mean,
who decides what you're doing is right?
Yeah. Who? Like, yeah. Like, obviously, if you're the world policing kind of thing, if that mentality, that means you're laying out the rules, you're laying out the laws. Who's to say that they're fair or just?
Yeah, nobody's gonna like fully agree 100% with somebody's mind saying it. What a good thing you could be doing in someone else's eyes could be.
Yeah,
who's to say that a democracy is necessarily the only way of doing things? Why can't it be something like?
I mean, yeah, there could be other cases, or there are maybe other methods which work quite perfectly well, or are perfectly suitable for a certain country and its certain needs.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you're a third party and you say the only way is democracy, are you in the right for saying that? When their system works perfectly fine, but you see all other forms of leadership as like democracy, other methods as not suitable or not fair.
As a dictatorship or autocracy, all the different versions.
Yeah, different variety. Yeah.
The final thing I'd pose to you then is, when we do see countries intervene, we also see a reaction.
Yes.
So we tend to see that a lot. So when America intervened in the Gulf War in the 90s and beyond that, how many other times America's intervened in wars previously, and even UK in Libya, we've seen reactions to how they had to, reactions from the countries they've intervened in various forms. But what would you say about that then? Would you say that you should still intervene even though there's a potential of you being potentially attacked or accused or
see when you do what I believe with this kind, when you intervene, there needs to be a very democratic. When I say democratic, it needs to be a wide acceptance that yes, what you're doing is right. Otherwise, if one person is doing the whole deciding and acting, then that's bad because not saying that they're evil or they're bad, but then one person is not enough to make big actions which affect millions of lives.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, you need more of a so there should be. I feel like when we intervene, I think there should be more input by the people.
So would you suggest a vote?
Yeah.
What do you think? Yeah.
So we should vote on whether or not we say, for example, intervene in Syria.
Yeah, and you obviously you have to raise all the points. So you have to say like yes. Like there's a possibility innocent people.
You could get like two parties, one that's like making its point for and against. They can have like debates and stuff like that.
Exactly. Because if you had something like that, then it makes more sense. Because obviously, if one person makes that decision,
right?
There could be. First of all, they might not be making it for the right reasons, and also if it's one person, you voted for them, but it could be like a case of I voted for them, but I didn't vote for this.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I don't want to hear the argument that like that'd take up too much time because it takes them too much time to interfere in the first place. So,
yeah, no.
What's a few extra?
It takes so much manpower. It takes human lives. It takes resources.
Yeah.
So it's like we might as well have as a whole country decide whether or not we should intervene or not.
Okay.
I could get down with that.
Yeah, I could.
Because the biggest thing people complain about their leaders are, I didn't like that decision they made. I didn't like the decision they made. Well, in the situation where you can vote for that, you could never...
To be fair, though, even though I mentioned this point and say there should be a vote, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. You could get a lot of people who just don't care, just vote.
Or people who vote for specific things because they're coming from a specific ideological position.
Exactly. But then again, like, if we pose it to the people, I would say it's more fairer than letting one person decide. Because at the same time, they could be like absolutely fine, the loveliest person on all the earth, but when they come down to this decision, they could make a mistake. People do. We're human. That's what we do. We make mistakes, but we learn from them. But at the same time, when it comes to these kind of situations, do you really want one person to make a mistake, or would you rather pose it to the community, pose it to the country?
That's a very good point. You're playing with people's lives at that point, so
So you need, if you have the country backing you 100%, then what will go wrong? If your country goes up and there's a majority people going, you know what, I think what you're doing is fine, you can do that.
Yeah.
Then you can do it. But if it's a case of the people go, no, I feel like you're going to do something wrong and this is not right at all, I don't think you should do it, then you can make a proper informed decision. Whereas if you didn't do it, then the people, whether you think you're right or wrong, people are there's going to be a majority. There's going to be people who don't like it, and in some cases it may be the majority.
Yeah.
So I do feel like they should be more democratic.
I definitely think so too. That's a big decision. That's probably one of the biggest decisions you can make for a country, and you're messing with people's lives at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to just put it in the hands of just one person.
And in terms of in the industry, like obviously, yeah, it does affect people here, even though, you know, because obviously there's companies, defense companies, there's people getting sent off in the army, they're getting sent in. There's people who lose people in this country due to them signing up for this.
Yeah.
So obviously the people at home, the people whose sons and brothers and fathers are going sent out. Oh, whoops! I don't know drink. Whoopsie. People whose families are being sent off to these things, sent out to war, sent out to these dangerous situations. They should have a right to choose whether they think, like, they need an informed decision.
No, but if you sign up for the military, then you're basically signing away your rights.
But to have the actual, like, because obviously, they're getting sent away whether or not they like it or not. But if they had a vote, if they had a choice, like, do they morally agree with it? Otherwise, you're just a guy who's just like, well, I'm just going to go whether or not I agree with it.
But that's the military. That's how the military is.
Yeah,
Once you join the military, you sign away your right. You sign away the right to make a decision upon that, because the military educates you to follow orders.
True.
Surely there's people in the military who are going to agree or disagree what's best for fighting for their country.
Of course there are. But of course, when you sign up to the military, that's you generally don't have that. You don't have that discussion anymore.
Yeah. I guess so, but
that's
fair. But the public should still, the public.
No, that's what I'm saying. Not the army themselves, obviously. Yeah. But I mean their families.
Okay.
The mothers, the fathers, the people who care about them, who love them.
People who even aren't in, like, don't have anyone related in the military. You know, just stuff like what's best for the country.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. Absolutely. Like, I mean, I'm saying everyone, but I'm also saying about the fathers, the mothers, the brothers, the sisters, and the sons and daughters. Well, obviously if they're old enough. If they're old enough. If they're two, I don't know if they can vote, you know.
There's genuinely so much more about this that I would want to get into, though, because there's the whole military aspect, there's the whole democratic aspect being our aspect.
There's also economic, industrial,
and then there's the whole sort of voters' apathy. Will people actually vote if you gave them the vote on the certain issues?
Yeah.
There's that sort of issue as well. But of course, we can't really cover all of that in this show.
No, we spent a longer time on the subject than I thought we would.
So
how long did we do?
We did 22 minutes.
So should we leave it there?
Yeah.
We'll leave that topic there.
That sounds good.
And this is something I forgot to mention in the beginning of the show, which is very important, that any sort of viewpoint that is given is the viewpoint of us, not necessarily not the radio show, not the university. It's just us, just the group of people sitting in this room.
Yeah, and even then we try to stay as neutral as possible.
I have to specify I have to specify that.
So hard, but I can't.
But that's so again.
Would people come out and say you're an idiot for wanting that kind of thing?
No. I'd say I don't mind. I don't mind people disagreeing with me. That's fine.
Yeah, it's just what you said was like such a harmless thing to put out there.
Yeah.
It's
there'll be people who disagree with me.
Yeah,
that's fine.
It's not like you took an opinion and did hard.
You
didn't do that. You just put an option out there.
I just put an idea out, and if people like it, yay. Yeah. If not, meh.
Okay, so shall we move on to the next one?
Let's do it. Before
we were worried we didn't have many subjects.
So the next one that I've sort of found out is that 19 countries have signed up to phase out coal use, or the use of coal or coal production. I don't know by when, but they've signed up in a UN summit in Germany. Of course, these 19 countries exclude the Australia. I think the UK as well is excluded, and the US. But I want to ask, the question I want to pose to you, gentlemen, is what is your position on the sort of the whole coal versus renewable energy idea here? Are we on the right track? Are we too late? What do you think?
I don't know if it's necessarily too late. I don't think it's ever going to be too late, because they're starting to get more renewable stuff out at the moment, even though fossil fuel is still like an option. They're trying to get it done as early as possible before we fully run out. Do you know what I mean? Of like fossil fuels and stuff like that. So I wouldn't say it's too late necessarily. I think they're still I still think they're on the verge of like trying new things and like perfecting it, because we do need a new energy source, because fossil fuels are going to last us what at the max, maybe
50 years.
50 years, is it? 60, 70, something
at current
like that?
consumptions, I'd say 50 years. But then you say that, but then we have the UK saying, oh, we're going to do fracking now. You know, digging for shale gas.
I mean, yeah.
We're looking for more renewable sources, but the UK sitting there like, hey, we're going to go fracking.
I mean, we might as well utilize it we'll utilize it if we have it.
No, but that's not a renewable source.
No, it's not renewable. I know it's not renewable.
And it's also not a long-term
it's
plan.
more of a if it's a temporary, like, we're just going to use this for now, and then just to power us till the next, But
why? Why do that? Why not just straight away go straight for the renewables? Invest in the renewable.
Buy yourself more time before you perfect the.
Yeah.
You don't need to buy yourself more time. You need to invest in what matters. Invest in the renewable side of things. That's what matters.
No, if you get the fracking oil, then you can use that to power the equipment that will perfect and test.
If someone like Acorn can put solar powers to power an entire country, I'm pretty sure the UK can put a little bit more money into investing in efficient renewable energy. Wouldn't you agree? It
could, but
I'm not saying. Okay, I'm not throwing it out there. I'm not saying the UK should. I'm playing like advocate of the evil here.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not attacking. I'm just playing evil advocate.
That's fair.
I just think that we are on our way to finding some kind of renewable, a good one that we can rely on. It's going to take a bit more time. I guess maybe it could be the question is, are we going to get it before fossil fuels run out, or ideally we'd get it before, because if they run out and we have no renewable energy source.
So like for instance, we didn't bother. We left it, and we were just researching for renewables, and then we reached the point where the fossil fuels had run out. Obviously, because we didn't investigate, didn't check. There's all this potential that we're wasting, and we're still searching for this renewable energy. Whereas if we do investigate, we do use it. That's lose a bit. That's fine. But once you have it, and once you've finally mastered the renewable energy, just scrap it entirely. Once you have the renewable energy source that's perfect, that works, well, not perfect, nothing's perfect, but it's suitable for our needs.
But again, then you come back to the whole, why don't you invest in making it perfect? If a country in Scandinavia can run on 96% hydroelectric power, then why couldn't the UK? The UK is an island surrounded by water.
Well,
the UK has very windy weather, has hydroelectric all around it.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we have been investing, or maybe just do a little bit both.
Surely if the concept is out there and other countries are doing it, it shouldn't be too hard to kind of just replicate, what another country's doing.
Yeah.
Surely. But I'm not worried about that in that case at all, because the template's already there, other countries are doing it, literally just replicate that and you're good.
But are we too late? Are the effects of the amount of fossil fuel that we have been using, has that already put us beyond the tipping point, would you say? Or do we still have time to change our ways?
I think we have plenty of time to change our ways, I mean, I don't know, I'm not an expert. I don't know if there's like a deadline where if we use this fossil fuels we're completely and utterly annihilated, but
I think it's like 1.5 degrees. If we go beyond 1.5 degrees in global weather, then that's the tipping point.
Well, obviously, in that case, what you'd have to do is obviously reduce greenhouse gas, and then by doing that, there's ways of doing it as well. In fact, I think there was some research from Sweden or a European country where they developed a way of capturing the CO2 and converting it back into a fuel.
Right.
So the scientists were experimenting with it a little bit.
Okay, go ahead.
So they were just trying to find ways of it. Well, they found a possible method which converts some CO2 back into a fuel. Right. It's not super efficient, obviously. They're still perfecting it. But there's other ways of dealing with it. Like, apparently there was another country that had lots of sodium bicarbonate or something like that. Where they basically captured all the CO2 and basically buried it underground.
That's a bad idea.
It's a bad idea, but it's like, I mean, as soon as it rains, they're probably
Yeah, it's gonna.
Unless of course they make it sealed tight properly, but they probably won't. They probably have a mistake.
It's a bit like the ones who put like nuclear waste in the ground.
Yeah. I mean, obviously the substance they're using is completely harmless and doesn't. But once it's obviously when it does rain, then it will release CO2 again.
And then it becomes bad to the atmosphere because it's acid rain and everything.
But yeah, no. I mean, if you can also invest in renewable energies, but also finding ways of reducing greenhouse gas and converting it into more of a something useful, or something that's out the way.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about it at all. I think we'll be fine. I think that we'll get like a good, reliable renewable energy source. And if we don't, well, we're going to be old anyway. So.
Oh my god.
Well, I don't know. I'm very skeptic in regards to it. I think as long as there's lobbying for fossil fuels to be used, then it's going to be used. And we're seeing examples of people actually like Tesla creating electrical energy based vehicles that are nice and cool, good and cool.
Oh yeah.
So we're seeing individuals, but we're not seeing a joint unity apart from these 19 countries, which I wish I got the list of the 19 countries before I came on here, but I don't know if it included Denmark and included other countries. But again, we're seeing individuals. We're not seeing a joint unity here from the government funding this and saying, do it, actually invest in this. So I'm a bit skeptical, I would say.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, there's not much more else to say on that subject.
Okay, another one relating to more countries. Now this is asking more about sort of the military side of things, but we have 23 European countries signing a defense pact to potentially create a European army. So this is in order to decrease their necessity of the US army to defend them. And it's also in the wake of the UK leaving the EU, because the UK has always been sort of, no, we don't want an European Union army. I don't know why, but okay. But now we have... what, do you know why, Reuben?
I mean, I have reasons, yes, but go on.
Okay, so now we have these 23 European countries, and already we're seeing Britain wanting to get involved in it, even though they're already leaving for Brexit, because the European armed deals they are worried that they'll seem less competitive because of this. So I want to hear your opinions on that. Do you think we're going to establish a European army? Reuben, why don't you think Britain should be in a European army? Because
as soon as you literally World War One was started by pacts, because one country got angry at one country, and then all the pacts, all the agreements, all the alliances started what was a small brawl between two countries into a massive world war. Yeah. So by creating a big super, obviously, it's all the countries that participated. Well, most of the countries that participated in World War One. Doing that just seems bad, because as soon as one country gets annoyed at another country,
you're all defending
another one.
I'm not seeing much of a difference just off description alone between something like that and the Soviet Union. That sounds literally like that could only go wrong. I don't see any positive to why, unless I guess they just wanted to defend each other. But as Reuben brought up, one small thing happens to one country, you've annoyed all of Europe, baby.
Insulting one of them, insult all of them.
Yeah, it's tell me though, I'm actually going to put, what is the difference between that and the Soviet Union, except obviously the Soviet Union was all ruled under one ideology.
Ideology.
But in terms of the whole, you mess with us, you mess with all of us.
No, because they still maintain their individual countries' identities.
Yeah,
but unlike the USSR, which was basically we amalgamate into the USSR.
But they're all going to war together. That's the thing.
But they don't share the same ideology. Here's the thing, though. This is interesting. Obviously, as agendas change and ideologies change within these countries, what's to say that if there's infighting between them, how would that work out? They'd have to talk about it. They'd have to really discuss it.
What's to say that one day they didn't all just unite under one ideology?
Oh, if they united under one ideology, then yes, then basically
that could happen potentially if there's stuff like infighting and stuff, and okay, we want to put an end to it. This is how it's going to work now. Except I guess you'd need one country in Europe to be the Russia of the Soviet Union. Do you know what I mean?
Germany.
Well, I mean, obviously, since it was held there, I suppose
This is going to be Germany or France.
So you'd say hypothetically,
the UK's gone now. The UK is practically leaving.
Hypothetically, the big leader would be either Germany or France.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then they would be okay, we all work under this ideology now,
And obviously that'll be
the European Union.
Here's the thing, though. There's going to be interesting because obviously, if is Ukraine going to be part of this agreement?
I believe so.
Well, in that case, obviously with Russia and Chimera,
Yeah.
I feel like that there could be another big.
Well, Russia's obviously going to be against this because Russia's always been against anything that unites the European Union.
Yeah.
To be fair, in this particular situation, for good reasons, you can't have stuff like that. I don't see any positives to that kind of thing at all. We were discussing earlier, countries helping countries kind of thing, helping with surrounding countries, but doing this, which is like, okay, you've messed with one of us, you messed with all of us kind of mindset. I don't think that's healthy for a country at all.
Yeah, no. I mean, obviously it's a good scare tactic. Like if one country, like if a small country does go against one of the one of the countries in Europe, it's like, okay, yeah, they're going to scared to go now. We're not going to.
But then what's stopping them from being like? They could be like the big next superpower. Then
they could theoretically be the next superpower, but then again, they'd have to deal with, like, if they try and be more competitive. And they try to, if they get too...
Well, that would only happen hypothetically.
But
hypothetically, under like one ideology.
If they were ideologically,
as we are right now, though, we seem to be very dependent on the US and their military force to protect us. So if someone hurts us, the US is going to intervene.
Well, yeah.
Whereas if we combine each other...
But that's allies, though. That's not the whole... joining together and becoming one.
America can defend themselves as well.
Yeah, America can defend themselves, but what if we want to work with each other to help to protect each other?
That's fine. Yeah, but the European thing joining together, that's kind of not, because that could be a situation where it just takes one person to mess that whole situation up, and again, we make something like this ideological country where it's all working under one, and then they've become like, we are now this big, powerful, like, superpower. We can do whatever we want, kind of thing.
Well, it is closer to establishing a republic of the European Union, most likely, where there's like a central government that's basically...
Yeah, I'm only thinking of like the negatives here, like the big negatives.
Yeah, there's positives as well.
Surely there are positives, but we're talking, aren't we? We're talking like, military, though. That's my thing.
Military, yeah. So yeah, in terms of like defense, they're going to be So if like small countries that want to mess with one country from this union, they're going to get scared. They're going to back away. So that will in turn reduce small conflicts. But eventually there will become points, like, obviously in terms of human nature, we do get angry, we do argue, we do have conflict. I keep moving, sorry guys. There is conflict, and people just love to, well, not love to, they don't love it.
I'm just kind of scared of a situation like this, because a lot of the big powerful powers in the past have been created by many countries coming together under one. The Ottoman Empire, the Soviet Union. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm afraid of. And it's you can say, that might not happen, but you never know with countries.
The thing I see from this is, though, what I see in this is that there's potentially going to be a backlash, because there has been such an increasing wave of nationalism against the unification of like the EU, that I think that while governments might be up for establishing this military, I don't think the people. I don't know. Oh no, depends on the country. It depends on the people, what the people want. But I don't think that some people will want to establish a military that works. So for example, a German military that works alongside a French, or a Swedish military that works alongside the Poland. They wouldn't want to establish that because that means more unification, and that just I don't even know the word. English is not my first language, but it re-brings this need to establish yourself as national, maintaining your nationalistic values.
What's it called? It's
not populism.
No,
nationalism, isn't it?
Nationalism. It's nationalism, but it's also like secular.
Secular?
Like being like separated into smaller groups. I mean, obviously, people want to keep their own countries.
Going against neoliberalism.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, whatever. That's what I'm seeing from this. Would you agree?
I guess so. Yeah, I couldn't imagine like a bunch of I guess in the situation where I said where they all unite under one, I guess that would be harder because you have a lot of different.
Yeah, and it'd be kind of annoying for I don't know, Hungary to be in a fight because I don't know, Austria had a quarrel with Turkey or something, or something like that, where one country gets attacked, wants to start an attack, and the other country is being pulled into this against their will, because they're obviously signing this pact. So I imagine people being quite against that, but at the same time, it also brings defense.
Again, we don't know. I forgot who. I didn't bring a list of who these 22 countries were.
We don't know who the countries are. So yeah,
I couldn't say what countries they were.
It's all just guesswork. It's not really.
Well,
we don't know.
let's say we hypothetically take the members of the European Union as it is. So we're basing our discussion upon if we take the members of the European Union as they are right now, and then they signed because there's 28 plus 1, isn't there? Or is it 27 plus 1? No, 27 plus 1 because the UK obviously. But let's say we hypothetically take that. Then what? Yeah.
I don't know. Then, well, if they actually did it and they worked together and they found a way to do it, then, I mean...
You think we'd be more educated now, though, compared to...
I mean, yeah.
Even smaller feuds would be worked out within the European Union. If one country was in disagreement with another country, that's why the European Union is there. If it's infighting,
I can imagine it being quite democratic, but when it comes to other...
I think it'd start out okay and gradually get worse over time.
Yeah, because eventually, either countries within the union itself will just start having these feuds and like, oh, I want to go to fight these guys.
There's obviously going to be some countries.
Other countries are not.
Yeah, there's obviously going to be countries in the European Union that are going to be viewed higher than others. Do you know what I mean? So they're going to be like the ones that I guess in terms of decisions, they might have first say, kind of thing. They might not agree with that.
A bit like the UN Security Council, where like Russia, UK, USA, China, Japan. No,
it's
China.
I think it's China. It's
China, and there's a fifth. There's 5. There's Russia, UK, US, Russia. Wait, did I say Russia or did I say China? And then there's one more. I don't remember if that's Japan or if that's Germany. It's one of those two.
I don't think it's Germany. It's okay. Let me go. Let me think.
Are we having a guess? Who can guess the UN Security
UK, US, Russia, China, and it's on the tip of my tongue.
I feel like it's either Japan, Germany, or South Africa. Okay. Anyway, we'll come back to that. What we're going to do is we're going to take a break and then
we're the allies of World War II. It's like if you know that, then you know the answer.
My history's a little bit rusty.
Oh no, I can't believe I'm forgetting this.
I can't believe it either because I watched a show about this.
France. I think
France.
I think it's France. Yes.
France.
Yes, I think it's France.
Okay.
That's why we forgot it, because we didn't believe it. I think it's France, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on that bombshell, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back after the break, and we'll go into our second show. So we hope you enjoyed. First of all, sorry if you didn't hear any news stories that you wanted to hear covered in the week. Again, we apologize for that. Maybe we just didn't have enough time, or we didn't get around to it. But we hope that you enjoyed it, and we'll be back after the break. See you in a bit.
You're listening to LCR.
Alright, hello, we are back. Hope you had a nice relaxing break. So, welcome back again. So, this is the second half of the show. In the second half, we tend to discuss things that are more interested towards us. Things that we've caught out in the news, or things that we've caught out in life, or just around. So, I'm going to leave it up to you two, gentlemen. What have we got? I know there's two big ones actually that we want to cover this week. So go.
Okay, so I know one of them, which is the YouTube kids scandal.
Yep.
Scandal?
EA micro.
Oh, and then there's also the
No, that's the second one.
Okay. That's the second one. Okay, so I was just making sure. So yeah, there's the YouTube kids scandal / what's called ElsaGate apparently, which is interesting.
Okay.
And shall I explain this one?
It's up to you. Go right ahead.
I mean, if I want to. Okay, so basically, YouTube has an app for kids called YouTube Kids. And how it works is that it filters out all explicit and mature videos. So, all the dodgy videos.
Anything that swears.
Anything that has mature content or violent content is removed from
that search engine.
So yeah, it's from the search engine, so kids can only see things that are suitable for kids, and that's perfectly fine. However, there's been some controversy due to the fact that some videos have been not designed or made that messes around with the algorithm. So it's so these videos which kind of bypass the algorithms in such a way that there's mature and explicit videos on YouTube, on the YouTube Kids app, and lots of these videos have like 4 million,
19 million, 25 million views on them.
So there's all these kids, or some people just watching it, because I've heard about it. But so many kids have been exposed to these mature, violent, or these
sexual, violent, mature, anything under the bus, really.
And the way it works is that it's using kids characters like Spider-Man, Elsa from Frozen, that Catwoman, everything like that, and it's just having these really strange and just really horrible videos where, like, just really horrible, some of the videos address suicide. Some talk about drug abuse and such, and people.
Some of them involve giving pregnancy, like Elsa characters giving having a baby in the on screen. Some of them include Mickey Mouse committing suicide. Some of them include very sexually suggestive things that you do not want your children to watch. So the lead up to this, the idea around this is basically parents, they'll plop an iPad or a smartphone in front of their children and put them on like a good looking, a normal video, a normal cartoon or something, maybe Tom and Jerry or something, and then they'll plop it in front of their child, and then they'll leave the child alone to watch this content. Now, the algorithm works that, autoplay works on, so it'll go from one video to the next, to the next, to the next. So you start out somewhere relatively safe, and then you end up in, let's just call it the Detroit of cartoons. Like, it's terrible. It's bad. It's really, really bad.
Yeah, definitely end up on the dark side of YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. Dark side of YouTube. And it ranges from animations being done, like 3D animations, 2D animations, to actual people dressing up as these characters and doing these things.
Yeah, that's
it's sickening.
That's really disturbing.
That's really messed up. And on paper, the YouTube Kids thing, brilliant idea.
Yeah,
on paper, in theory, but again, it's just another stupid decision by YouTube, because YouTube, they keep doing this stuff. They thought, okay, so their idea was just to remove it from the search engine.
No, not from the search engine. So basically, anything with like tags or
war, murder, violence, anything.
Yeah, anything that has mature or
you can easily exploit that kind of system, though.
Yeah, true. There is ways of exploiting. Yeah, there's loads of easy ways. But the thing is that with this one, I would say that yes, YouTube has a fault with this one, because obviously they never use actual people.
No, they always use
they always use algorithm.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
And
you can't run a system like that. Obviously, it'll take longer, take more manpower to have humans do it, but you're not going to get a better site just leaving up to just...
Yeah.
There are two sides to this argument. There is, of course, the YouTube and algorithm side and the whole manpower discussion that we've had before.
Yeah.
But there's also the issue around parents not supervising what their children are watching or how their children access that content.
Yeah, that's true. If your parent slaps an iPad and just goes, "Oh, Elsa, funny," whatever, that's your fault.
Which is why one of the things I wanted to say today was, please, for the love of goodness, if you're using the YouTube Kids app, please ensure that your children, that you are aware of what your children are watching. If that means just making sure that there's a 10-minute, let's say that one video says 10 minutes long, and that's clear, make sure to come back in 10 minutes and check the next video that your child is watching to make sure that it's a legitimate video.
Better yet, if you want to actually generally have a really interesting, create your own playlist.
Yeah.
Watch it yourself, make sure that it's suitable, then I would suggest making your own playlist. Because obviously if you rely on YouTube's algorithms to generate your playlists, you're going to end up with... I avoid music ones because the music gets rubbish towards the end. So I tend to make my own playlist. So I would suggest for parents, make your own playlist, because it avoids all this kind of situations, and overall it just means that you know what your kid's watching, and you still have a part, still helping out. You obviously... I would say that obviously be more active with your kids and just get them away from the iPad. Go outside, go park. It's a fun time.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of just not good if you're just going, "Oh, I got to entertain the kids," slap them in front of an iPad.
Well, there are several situations. So, for example, if they're in the car or something, or if they're or if the parents is.
But here's the thing: if you're doing like small things like going to the car, just make a playlist. Make a playlist.
Custom
make one for your kids. You know what they like.
It's both the fault of the parent and it's obviously the fault of YouTube themselves. Yes, they had a good. They had a good idea, and they meant well. But meaning well means nothing if you can't,
If you can't actually follow up.
Yeah, exactly.
If you can't actually protect children against this kind of this content.
Yeah.
But here's my concern: who on earth designed? Who on earth made this content?
People are sick.
Yeah, there's a lot of sick
I know
people.
there's bad people, but this is just an all-time low.
People will earn money doing whatever. If they poison your child, they were
demonetized, weren't they?
Some of them are monetized. Some of them.
Still?
Some of them can get around it. Because, of course, it's got children's characters and something. I mean, earning 19 million views on YouTube, even if you're not monetized, that's something. No,
that's the thing. They weren't demonetized because of the content. They were demonetized because they used characters from licensed films.
Oh, of course. So Disney and such
thing.
were claiming
That's the
those
worrying thing. They're not being demonetized because, oh yeah, their content's harmful and dangerous towards children. It's because they're using Elsa and Spider-Man.
Because Disney said, "Hey,
like-
you're using content that's from us, so we're going to claim
That's
it."
really aggravating.
it's stupid. It's another long line of dumb decisions YouTube has made, and
Yeah.
honestly, at this point, if this is happening, ditch YouTube Kids altogether until you make it or you fix it. But obviously, if you're going to keep running it with bots, then that's never going to be fixed.
Keep your children away from the YouTube-generated mixes and also playlist, and make your own playlist.
Yeah,
that's the good way of doing it.
Watch the content first.
Watch the content,
and then make sure it's good for the kids.
And then if you do find videos which have
flag them,
report them, just get them out the way.
You see, like when we were growing up, we didn't have stuff like YouTube Kids, and I never came across bad stuff like that.
That's because we watched TV, though. We had things that were approved by TV standards.
Yeah, well, I went on YouTube a lot as a kid, and I never came across anything like creepy unless you
unless you specifically search
for it. But then again, during that period, the YouTube was still a new platform, and people weren't
sick.
People probably were, but they weren't. It wasn't made. They didn't.
Not everyone
had
access to the tools to make a video nowadays as we do. If you have a good enough camera phone, you can make videos on YouTube nowadays. Most of these videos don't even have people talking in them. They just put royalty-free music, slap that on, and then play that.
Yeah, it's the dark ages.
I agree with you, but I would like to get into the mindset of people who produce this content and why they do it.
Because it's such a dark...
it's disturbing that people would want to poison the minds of children with this kind of content. I've seen some of these. It's like Mickey Mouse holding a knife and walking up to Minnie Mouse. It's Elsa pregnant, giving birth right in front of you on the screen. It's Spider-Man taking a dump on someone's head.
That's terrible.
What's going through the minds of the actors, the people who write it, the people who direct it, the people that film it, the people who upload it, and think, you know what, this is going to hit kids. This is going to go towards kids. What's going through their mind? What is actually going through their mind?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Everyone is sick in the head.
I know people are sick in the head, but this is wrong. This is just, I don't know.
No, I agree.
It's beyond morality.
This is beyond being bad.
Do you think there should be prison sentences for people who upload that?
Yes.
You know what?
I think so.
I would say there needs to be penalties, strong penalties, because this is.
You get prison sentences for much lesser.
Theoretically, it could be considered public. Is it public indecency? Would you say it's considered that?
There must be some child laws.
Yeah,
maybe public indecency. Public indecency.
Maybe not works. It's not actually.
Look, let me put it like this: you get prison sentences for much lesser than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can get downloading illegally. I would say is a lot lesser, because so many more people do on a grander scale than corrupting the mind of children with stuff like borderline. Snuff films, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Borderline softcore things on.
Yeah, exactly. No, I would definitely say that's definitely worth a prison sentence, in my opinion. There's going to be people that are just you should get good.
No, it's not.
Don't man up kind of thing. You can't say that to a child.
No, you can't. No, because the kids doesn't know better.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't know, and this stuff is apparently mentally scarring. But yeah, no, I would say that people are gonna go, oh, it's YouTube's fault. Oh yeah, it's the parents' fault. But yeah, at the end of the day, yes, okay, they need to take more responsibility for their stuff. But at the same time, the people who generate and make this kind of content need to be removed.
Yes, true.
Either by demonetization, by reporting, by basically getting rid of their channel and getting rid of all that kind of stuff and making new rules and policies, and or having these sentences, because it is a form of child abuse. It's a form of,
YouTube, the thing is, YouTube already has a policy against this. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Second of all, even if a channel produces this and they upload it and they get demonetized, there is a period of time where they can manage to earn money, and it's normally within the first 24 hours, which is when they get the most views.
Yeah.
That they do that, and then they and then let Disney take over, or whichever the company, I don't know, Funimation or whatever.
But it's the thing, if they have that mentality, like, oh yeah, we're just gonna make this video which is really harmful towards kids and then take the money and run, I do believe there should be some form of punishment. They should have
I agree.
Either jail sentence and a fine, so that the money they've earned is gone.
Take it away. Yeah.
It needs to send a message.
Yeah, okay. It's really messed up. That's the problem with YouTube nowadays is that they're giving them the tools to do this kind of thing.
Yeah, and anyone can do it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And yes, people are going to go, but freedom of speech. But no, this is not freedom of speech anymore. This is corruption. This is just
Blatant
filth.
destruction.
Yeah, this is not freedom of speech. This is harmful, abusive content.
Yeah.
So it's
like I'm allowed to go out and smack someone in the face, but you shouldn't do it.
Yeah, because it's wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
It's absolutely wrong.
So, well, what can you do? It's like, one, we need to find out the people doing it.
Yeah, so obviously the parents and YouTube need to take more.
YouTube Kids should probably be removed altogether. I mean, think so.
Well, if YouTube Kids is removed, then it just comes back onto YouTube itself as a platform.
Clearly, it was harder to find though, and the kids aren't going to stumble upon it.
No, but here's the thing: it's more to do with the fact that people because the YouTube Kids came out. Obviously, some people thought, "Oh, it would be really funny if we bypassed the algorithm." Right. It was a challenge, and people would try, and people do that, and I don't know why. It's sick. It's disgusting, but I think YouTube Kids should be. I think it should be a thing. I would disagree. I would say it needs to be a thing because as soon as you take it down, these kind of videos win.
They pop up on YouTube regularly.
You get that, and you get everything.
But how often would they come up on YouTube? Just regularly.
Well, if you end up searching for videos on normally like you used to do, then they'll just show up on YouTube instead.
Yeah, it'll be a lot easier. And in fact, if you got rid of YouTube Kids, then not only will you get the bad videos, but you'll get the things that were already filtered.
I guess so.
And yeah, we were more maybe as kids, these kind of the content, the borders of this kind of content was like still expanding. We're still learning, like, there's so much expanding, and people back in the day maybe didn't have that kind of thought pattern. They didn't want to do like that kind of thing.
Why would you?
Why would you? But then obviously as the platform became more popular, the people who have that kind of mentality,
as money came into it,
yeah, and also
started to
and
change.
As soon as you add money to anything creative, it becomes problematic. It just becomes tainted.
Again, like you said this yourself. The very problem. The second money got involved into YouTube is the very second things started getting worse.
Yeah, I agree. That's why you see anyone who any creativity for like YouTube channels with that are super popular basically died, and you can even see like channels that had like loads of subscribers now. Like you compare like their oldest videos to their newest ones, and it's like night and day. They've changed so much, and they've gotten so worse. And I genuinely think the creative content has gone a lot worse. And now that you're filtering snuff films into it, and that's what they are.
Yeah.
There's no argument. They're genuine. They're just snuff films.
Not even that on regular YouTube itself, Reuben, because there's something adding to these Elsa and Spider-Man video things. People have started to try and get around the whole sort of getting taken off or getting flagged on YouTube by putting little things in there, by calling them educational videos.
Oh, I've heard about this topic.
So there was
HD, right?
Yeah, there's one video or a channel that is from what we've seen, it's just a naked lady, but she's wearing a chef an apron. So she's 100% naked, but she's wearing an apron. So you can see the outskirts of certain regions. You can see the buttocks. I don't know what to say.
They have no self-respect.
They will cook naked in front of you, and they just appeal to the ones who are, I don't even want to say sexually. I don't know who they appeal to.
The people. Yeah, you're right. There's no nice way of putting it. It's just people who.
Disgusting.
Yeah, people who just have just dirty thoughts, I suppose.
Retracted to the idea of people cooking.
No. If you do that, just go to a normal cooking channel.
Watch MasterChef.
Watch Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives on YouTube.
Yeah, but
they don't have. It's really good.
Yeah, but
I recommend that to all you guys. Yeah, but please watch it.
Hold on. We are not sponsored by this channel. We cannot.
Just do it.
No, we can't do sponsorship.
Okay, we're not doing.
We're sponsored by Taco Bell.
You wish.
Taco Bell's
But
terrible.
no, I do feel like this is a cheap tactic. This is such a cheap tactic. It's just to make money. And yes, people will click on it just because
it has naked people in it.
Because they just
because it has a somewhat exposure of areas in it.
And it's just such a first of all, the person who's doing it either has no respect. Well, they definitely have no self-respect, because you don't do that on a public domain. You don't do that when videos are being.
Or they know how to utilize supply and demand in the market.
They still have no self-respect, because they're just going to make you just basically.
But why someone that is on YouTube
for money, just to basically.
But again, why is someone like that on YouTube, who does that on YouTube, not okay? But Nicki Minaj, who strips naked and sings music, is okay.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. No, but see, the thing is that with those ones, they're They're restricted, aren't they? Are they restricted?
No, you can see if
They're
you,
not restricted.
if you go on YouTube, you can
swear
see
they
the
were.
whole of Nicki Minaj on YouTube right there if you want to.
Okay. And okay.
Hey, that stuff's allowed on like
Sex
daytime.
sells.
That
See,
stuff's
to be
allowed
fair,
on like
yeah.
daytime
It
television.
is
Yeah.
allowed on on
So
MTV.
if that's allowed on daytime television and society thinks that's okay, then it's all right.
we can't really.
We
deal
can't
with
really
that.
do anything
But there
about
are some.
They're not going to put snuff films on TV when kids come home. So
But they will put Nicki Minaj doing, Baby Got Back
yeah,
on kids on right in the middle of slap bang on MTV, at 12 o'clock.
That's a different discussion altogether.
I mean,
though.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's just like most music videos, like nowadays, it's just kind of
Yeah, that's just how it is.
I mean, it's not right. I disagree.
So it
There should be
sells
more-
on both parts. So when that music video is now on YouTube, then why is that being on YouTube okay, but not someone who's actually a YouTuber doing that on YouTube okay?
Well, no, because when you have media, like obviously, yeah, when celebrities do it, I go, you know what, that's not cool. I don't agree with that.
No.
You should have more respect. You should be more
100%, yeah.
have more class. Human being, just have some more self-respect. But with this kind of when it's a YouTuber, I don't know. It's like with media, people when it's media and stuff, people know what sells, and obviously they make albums and stuff. But with YouTube people, it's like now they're learning from the celebrities.
And it sells. That's
And
what
it sells. But that's the thing. Yeah, it sells. It sells. Obviously, it sells. So, like some of these videos are getting 4 million views, like ridiculous amounts.
Yeah.
15 million views, and they're definitely getting ad revenue. But it's just cheap tactics. It's not because your content's good. It's not because it's actually inspiring or entertaining or it's not entertaining. But people just click on the video because
it's clickbait.
it's clickbait. Yeah, it's perfect. It's clickbait. It's just like something that everyone will click on, not because it's a good video, not because it's well made, not because it's got genuine good writing or that the information in it is actually good.
yeah.
Like, it's just because it's an easy target. It's just like, oh, people like, sex sells. So,
Yeah.
What do you think, Nezar?
In terms of the whole music video versus like YouTubers putting sex in their like videos.
Just in general, really. Out of this discussion that you've had, what do you think?
Well, in terms of that whole music video thing, I think there is a difference, to be honest. I guess in the end of the day, you're showing the same thing, but it's hard to explain.
maybe because music videos have that kind of like, they have like, their lyrics are quite,
No, but again, then we
Yeah,
have YouTubers who
true.
are musicians who do the exact
No, but here's
same
the thing. No, but here's the
But
thing.
kids, look. Are we still talking on the concept of kids? Kids aren't going to watch that stuff.
No,
No,
we've
this is
moved
a
on
whole
from
new-
kids.
yeah,
Yeah, we're
this
moved on
is
from kids.
onto
We're now
the
discussing sort of like
educational videos.
the whole sort of the educational sex sells kind of thing. The whole the musicians that put sexualized content in their videos, but that's okay.
Whilst playing instruments and singing.
No, they're not playing it. Well, you can argue how much Nicki Minaj sings in a music video
Yeah.
or plays an instrument with.
Look,
No.
I do think there's a difference. A music video is a music video, and that they show that stuff on. If it's shown on TV, then it's okay.
Yeah, I would say it's more socially acceptable.
It's shown on daytime
Yes.
television, and as society, people have come to accept it that's just all right to
and
show.
to be fair, like
But
yeah.
then there's Reuben saying that it's not okay when
I
it's
mean,
on
yeah,
YouTube.
it's still not. No, I'm saying it's not okay generally, like overall. Like I'm saying it's not. It's
what
not
are we
cool.
What are we
It
talking about
happens.
on YouTube? Like how extreme are we going?
Well, okay, so
If it's just a like, for example, like give me an example of somebody. Are they showing their entire naked nude body on the
Not
camera?
entirely, but it's enough. It's
somewhat highly sexually suggestive. So things like Tana Mojo did a video on Hugh Hefner or something. She's saying she wants to be like Hugh Hefner. In that, there was a lot of sort of sexually suggestive positions, a lot of sort of sexually suggestive content. All the lyrics were sexually suggestive. What she did in the video was sexually suggestive. But apparently, that's not okay, or that is okay.
Look, in terms of that, I would say I wouldn't remove that off YouTube because there is a fan base for that kind of thing. People do. There is an appeal to that kind of thing, and that's going to be age restricted. Kids aren't going to be watching that.
True. There's age restrictions.
Yeah. If that's fine on YouTube
Yeah.
too, because there's going to be people who are into that and want to watch that. You can't immediately.
Oh, no,
and
true,
it's
yeah.
probably
If it's age restricted,
if it's got like
yeah, actually, yeah,
like
you're right.
sexual positions and stuff and like sexual content, that's going to get demonetized anyway, right?
I mean, yeah, like yeah,
And
no,
you actively have to go out of your way to search that kind of
true.
thing.
And if it's age restricted, that's fine. That in that case, I would say it's okay because it means that
We discussed
You
on the
lose half.
very first episode that YouTube should be allowed. Adults should do their thing and like find their audience.
true. And then
and like people who
and now
people,
Reuben's like it shouldn't be
people
okay.
who people like PewDiePie who appeal to the mainstream obviously have to make his content for the mainstream, so he shouldn't be putting out adult content and stuff like that, compared to like someone like iDubbbz who's allowed to put out whatever he wants. Because
that is,
so in that regard, that YouTube channel, if she wants to do what she wants, she can do what she wants, man. And if people are all right with that, then people are all right with it.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you're right. You make a good point. That's a really good point.
That's just my opinion on that subject. I won't, like, it doesn't appeal to us. But,
yeah, true.
And we think it's stupid, but whatever. She's not making money off it, so who cares?
No, she is.
Oh, is she?
Yeah,
of course she is.
I thought they got demonetized.
No, some of the videos do get demonetized, but most of them are okay.
Well, I mean, that's just going onto the whole thing, like, that's just going against us in, like, creative bias in general, because we all think, like, a lot of the big YouTubers that make money don't deserve, like, a lot of the stuff they get, and she definitely doesn't deserve the stuff she's getting.
No, because if it was completely demonetized, and, then, I mean, like, I don't like I don't like the idea, but it would be more, it's like, now you're not,
telling somebody to take the whole YouTube channel, that's a bit, you know.
Yeah, you're
right. It's a bit mean.
Yeah.
Maybe she enjoys making those videos. Maybe that's a hobby. Maybe she's like,
she actually genuinely
the thing that gets me through the day is the nice comments I receive from my fans. You know?
I wonder what kind of nice comments those are.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? There's worse YouTube channels out there that bother me more.
You know what? You're right. Yeah.
That have like
I agree.
Way more publicity for doing the smallest, dumbest things. So what can you do?
You know what? I agree with you. I would still say that some of the tactics used by these things are cheap, but
they're cheap tactics, obviously.
But then again, like having I wouldn't. Yeah, you're right. I wouldn't remove. Yeah, you shouldn't remove them. They are doing. You know, if they're demonetized, then I guess that's
cool. Believe me, there's a lot of YouTube channels I'd want to remove. Before I removed her, but just based off scummy tactics and just cheap videos, but you know, it has an audience.
All right, moving on, relating to other things that your children shouldn't be playing or watching. EA has released Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Woo! Who cares?
And that
I thought you did for a second.
No.
Okay.
And that game is an atrocity, I would say personally.
Supposedly it is. I've not seen or played it.
I've remained out the loop.
Let me give you the background.
Is it similar to Battlefront 1?
Oh, apparently there's 3 times more the content, but you know that doesn't matter when I tell you exactly what the problem with this is.
3 times 0 is still 0.
I like
Beautiful.
That was a good line.
So what happened is that EA has early access. EA is a company that publisher of video games, for those that are listening. So EA had early access, which means that they publish their games a week early for those that have EA access, that pay for that kind of thing. So they released Battlefront a week early for those people that played it. Now in this game, there is the ability to purchase something called coins, crystals using real money. Now, of course, EA wants you to spend real money. So what they did is they've made the system so unfairly unbalanced towards the point where they want you to spend money. To someone like Darth Vader. Yeah. To unlock Darth Vader in this game, they worked out that you had to play 40 hours of the game to earn the amount of credits that you need to buy him as a character. He's not unlocked from the get-go. You have to spend 40 hours playing the video game to get this character.
Yeah, that's how microtransactions get their money out of you.
But they also put a limiter on how much credits you can earn in a day, so as to try.
That's taking even longer.
To try and make they say that is to ensure that people are not taking advantage of the arcade system. Now, the controversy, we have seen Reddit history in the making, because they are the most downvoted. They have the most downvoted post in Reddit history, because they tried to explain that as, we want to see players feel a sense of achievement when they work hard to achieve something. Well, sorry EA, if you're going to make me spend 40 hours on a game to make me feel a sense of achievement, that's not how you do it. You could either spend 40 hours, or you could take the easy way out, which is to pay EA money.
So, in other words, you don't have to actually feel the achievement.
You don't actually have to play the game. You just give them money and you can beat the game on easy.
It's so stupid. EA are so daft, and they don't know. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because they don't know what the audience wants, but people buy their stuff and buy anyway.
Now, they've temporarily taken microtransactions out of the game, but they're going to implement it later on at some point. I'm going to let you guys say what you want to think first. So what do you think about this whole microtransaction controversy?
It's stupid. It's a way to get money out of people. They built it in a way so that you can beat it. You know, and they always advertise it like that. Oh, you can get it for free. You just have to put all your life's work into it.
Yeah.
For what? A character? How much of a Star Wars nerd do you have to be to do like to find appeal in like that kind of thing? Like I like Star Wars and like I'd never do that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Come on. That's such a waste and that's such cash grabbing and you're supporting people who are the scum of the gaming industry.
Yeah, it's
like pure like that's just stupid and it's a trend. Like EA have been like everyone's hated them for probably the past decade, right?
It doesn't matter how much we backlash against them as long as people keep buying the stuff.
And people are going to keep buying the stuff. That's the problem. People are going to keep buying the stuff because microtransactions, it sells.
Just makes it easier.
Yeah, it sells. It's like, I could get this, but I'll just buy it. I'm the belief that when you make a game, you make it full.
Yeah. For me, if you're buying a game, everything has to be in the game. You can't separate it off and parts that are in the game and go, oh, you're gonna have to pay an extra $2 for this or £2 for this or €2 for this. Just for this part and this part and this part. If you're buying a game, everything should be in it, should be locked in, and that's fine.
Yeah.
The only time microtransactions would ever work is first of all if you're free to play, and second of all if the things you're buying have no effect on the gameplay. So, for instance, like cosmetic stuff.
Yeah.
So you're just buying skins and stuff, you know.
I'm fine with free to play because they're giving you a game and they're just saying
you can have the game, but if you want to support us.
That's how they're making their money,
and that's fair because that means that
you look at a game like Team Fortress 2. That's what they do.
Yeah, because all that stuff is cosmetic, so it's it's completely fine.
Again, to those who aren't a part of the sort of whole gaming clique and don't necessarily understand what we mean by this, what we're trying to explain is that we're witnessing a trend where video games and video game companies are releasing purely half-finished games, or not even half-finished games, but games with content cut out, video games with content cut out, where you pay money for it. You pay a whole £60, $60, whatever it is that you pay for it, but then they'll charge you more as the time goes on. If you want to experience the full experience, they'll make you pay more, like maybe another £60 for something called season passes or something called I don't even know, DLC.
Season pass, DLC,
What multiplayer game now doesn't have a season pass?
Exactly. So what they're doing now is they're specifically leaving chunks out of complete stories, not even complete games, but they're leaving pieces out so that they can sell it to you later. And this is having a very bad knock-on effect on people who potentially have a gambling addiction because they spend more money on buying things in video games. This is having a bad effect on children who have access to who will utilize their parents' sort of money to buy this content. It's having a bad access on just gaming in general because it's ruining the experience for people on the sake of profits and shareholders, and that's fine. You're a business, we understand you want to make profit, but when you're being money grubby, when you're being Scrooge McDuck times a million, sitting on the top of your money pile, sitting up there smoking whatever you're doing, Cuban cigars, and sitting there with your wine bottles, it's not okay.
Yeah, people are gonna buy Battlefront anyway. It's gonna sell so well.
Well,
no. Yes, it will, but I mean, like
without the microtransactions. If you sold it as a complete game, it's made by DICE, the people who made Battlefront. Battlefield rather, and it's from a well-known company. Whether we don't want to buy it, it appeals to the mainstream.
True.
People are going to buy it on the same levels, maybe not on the same levels of like a Call of Duty, but surely. Second's not as bad. Second place isn't bad at all.
Do you hear about the Call of Duty thing? They're dropping loot crates onto the beaches of Normandy.
I know, I heard.
And then you get achievements if you watch other people unlock their boxes in front of you. How disrespectful is that to a veteran? How disrespectful?
What?
The only way this could work, I hope the people that are enjoying this are enjoying their retirement, because that's the only kind of people I could see getting any pleasure out of this kind of thing.
When I heard that, I just thought that was the most how could you be so disrespectful to veterans?
That is just
I don't know. It's stuff like that why I've abandoned those kind of companies.
Exactly. I've stopped. Me as well. I've completely stopped supporting those kind of companies. Yeah. I said it before on the show and I'll say it again. EA, Activision, I'm completely gone.
Yeah, done.
I don't want to support them
anymore. If you're a company owned by either, you're just evil.
Well, if you're a company owned by EA, your life is in danger already because they're probably going to axe you if you don't.
See what they did to BioWare?
Yeah.
That's the worst one for me personally, as somebody who grew up with BioWare games in secondary school. And like I loved the first like Dragon Age and like Mass Effect 2, and you see like Andromeda and like what they've done to that. Oh my god!
We're just shouting out a bunch of game lingo, and we're just hoping people are going to get it.
Sorry if you don't understand it.
We gave you like an hour and 30 minutes. Come on, let us talk about something we want to talk about.
Wow. Okay, that's cool, I guess.
So yeah,
democracy manifest.
As we said, EA's just gone. Like it's like even if you're a company owned by EA, it's not just EA themselves necessarily, but if you're owned by them, you're gonna feel
the burn.
The burn. Yeah.
It's not I wouldn't say it's 100% on the developers. I'd say it's on the publisher. It's definitely more to do with the publisher.
Yeah, because the developer
forcing something in.
The publisher's going to be the ones who are like, right, we're going to publish this game, but we're going to need you to do this. It's going to be checklists, isn't it? There are going to be things you can do and you can't do. Like, for instance, EA wants to make more money, so they'll probably go, oh, let's add loot crates. I bet if DICE, if DICE were told said, oh, yeah, we'd rather not do that because it seems like a bad idea.
Right.
They may be, like, DICE maybe go, oh, it's a bad idea.
They probably have no choice in the matter.
But they have no choice in the matter. Because EA is going to go,
DICE is a company another company that started off really good. They made some really good games, and they've been bad so terribly the past few years.
Yeah, because first of all, in terms of development, in terms of, like, actual development, I think they've lost it because it was glitches. Like Battlefield 4 when it first released was
my god, Battlefield 4.
Atrocity.
Yeah, that was
an atrocity.
Yeah.
And then like obviously now it's like less so. Well, there are still bugs. There's still bugs in the games, but now you also have the added effect of EA having these microtransactions. I believe like one of the first cases of like an ending being held back was a game called Asura's Wrath.
Yeah, Capcom.
That was terrible. Oh. What happened is that basically there's a game called Asura's Wrath, and you paid, I don't know how much,
I paid for it.
You paid for it, wasn't it? 40 quid, wasn't it?
I don't know if it's 40 quid just for the ending, but...
Wait, you paid...
No, for the game.
For the game. God. Yeah, Asura's Wrath.
I was talking about the game.
Yeah, okay, so about 40 quid, yeah.
Yeah, but then it ended... Yeah. Well, it ended in a really anticlimactic way, and there's something.
It ends on a cliffhanger.
It ends on a cliffhanger,
right?
And you're thinking,
for a few days, you're just like, okay, guess they're making a sequel.
Yeah, guess they're making a sequel. No, it's a DLC. Your ending is a DLC. If you want the true ending, you're gonna have to pay for the DLC.
Yeah, and I paid for that too. At the time.
You're the reason why we're in this.
No, it's not his fault. It just happened. It was one of the first times it happened, didn't it?
Capcom like beforehand were really bad, but like. That was like removal of story elements.
Because Capcom did set the trend. Because I remember like one of the games that released, all the characters were like.
Street Fighter 5 had barely any characters. Yeah. I don't know if it was Street Fighter 5.
A shout out to our boy Trey. He'll complain a lot about Street Fighter 5 at launch. Like, he said it on many times how like Street Fighter 5 on launch is a completely different game to Street Fighter 5 of today.
But again, it's sad that what we're witnessing, and to me personally, well, then again, we could say all the smack we want about EA and those kind of companies, but they're
gonna stay afloat.
They're gonna stay. They keep earning.
But how long for? Like, how long until? How long do the general public go? You know what?
The general public doesn't care.
They don't
never.
No, they don't care. But like, surely, like they'll get
to a
point.
Once your generation gets bored of it, there's a new generation of people. Who are
and once we've complained about it to the point where everyone gets tired of it, everyone just buys into it anyway.
Nobody listens to companies. Don't listen to people on the internet.
No, no.
They listen to the.
That's true.
EA did once.
Yeah, they listen to the moolah. That's all they listen to.
Yeah,
the power of your pockets is way more important to these developers than the power of
you can complain on the
words.
Internet all the time.
But someone's going to defend it.
Yeah, somebody's going to defend it. A and B, you can make a rant that's as long as Yellow Pages, and nobody's going to care. The company's not going to go, oh, I'm going to sit down and read this. They're going to be like, yeah, well, sequel. EA are the Michael Bay of studios.
It's a very fair. That's a very fair understanding.
Yeah, they just don't care, do they?
Yeah, they're shallow, but they make lots of money.
Yeah, you've got, and it's happening on a wider scale. It's not just EA. It's EA, Ubisoft.
Oh God.
Bungie.
I mean, as soon as one does one, the other company's like, "Oh, that's a wonderful idea." They
give them one slice of the pie, and they take the whole pie with them.
They take. They see one guy get the microtransaction dish, and everyone else wants it. They went, I want some of that.
Battlefront 2 wasn't even the first thing to do that this year. Destiny 2 did it first, didn't it? Like whenever I see now first-person shooter game made by these studios, I'm just like, done. Nope, not getting anywhere near that. For me now, it has to either be like a free-to-play game or a game I'm going to go back to, like TF2 or like Modern Warfare 2 or something.
Or it has to be a game by a developer I know and trust, like Naughty Dog.
Yeah, Naughty Dog, trustworthy. I would say, yeah, definitely them.
For now.
For now.
Yeah, who knows?
Like, there could be,
who knows?
They get bought out by EA.
Please, I beg of them not. I beg of them not. I beg
No. Their own.
No, it's Microsoft.
Sony keeps them way too close.
Even GTA 5 though has gone down this path now. GTA 5 started out amazing. We
no,
got
because it went online.
Stories of
it went online,
and then it went online. And then
but if you play on PC with mods, it's fine.
Yeah,
because
like, you don't have to. You don't have to.
Yeah,
you don't have to. You can just avoid the whole scene.
You can avoid the online.
You just go mods. Although
we just modify it.
No, here's the thing. There's been cases of people trying to pay for mods. To make
Bethesda's doing it.
That's terrible.
Bethesda's trying to make people pay for mods.
Mods. That's not the because mods. Like,
Bethesda, oh my! Since Skyrim is like their go-to game now, isn't it? It's like since 2011.
They keep rehashing it.
How much Skyrim can we milk out of this?
Like
they're releasing another one, and like their selling point is that there's mods.
It's now for Switch.
Well,
it's portable.
It's portable, but it's like
stop. All right.
Like
release a new game.
Like,
because I'm gonna go on the bus and like bring out like Skyrim.
You don't, because for those who play players who don't play Skyrim is not one of those games you can play on the bus.
No,
it's when you're at home, you have lots of time on your hands. You're like a free weekend, and you just play it.
Which I'm pretty sure most university students don't have.
No.
When was the last time we had time?
I gave that out before I came here. So
exactly. It's like, so that's another one. Bethesda, which a lot of people like to go to and say they love. They do shady stuff too. A lot of these companies are doing shady stuff just to get money out of us.
Yeah, the mods one is even worse because DLC, that's part of the game. But mods are like something by the community for the community. If people are like, oh, I want this, I want that, just to make it more fun. But as soon as they make it paywally, that's just no one's gonna buy into it.
Like
pay to win,
stopping your progression.
Yeah, it's
or like making it harder for you, the player, because you don't have the advantages that these people paid for.
And it's usually hobbyists made for hobbyists, just messing around, having fun. They want to see something. They want to add something to their game that'll make it good and make it better. Whether that be cool arm or a dragon that looks like Thomas the Tank Engine, it doesn't really matter. It's just people having fun. As soon as you add money to that, as I said previously, all creativity's done.
A dragon that looks like Thomas the Tank Engine.
It's surprisingly scary.
It is surprisingly scary.
It's probably scarier than the actual
fire.
Yeah,
that should not be on YouTube, kids.
It's probably scarier than the actual dragons in the game.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, which one would you rather want? A dragon or Thomas the Tank Engine speeding towards you? Flying towards you?
A dragon, because Thomas has cold, dead eyes.
Yes, like dun 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 dun. And it plays the music as well.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So it crashes down. Instead of the battle music when you have these dragons, it's dun 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 dun. And it's as you're getting burnt alive by the breathing of the fire.
Thomas the Tank Engine breathing fire. Stayed out of steam, it's just straight up fire.
Yeah, it's
I can get behind this.
And you have Perseus too.
Yeah,
you have Percy.
So it's been a good show, hasn't it? We got a Reuben rant.
Yeah, we did get a Reuben rant. YouTube Kids was your rant.
Oh yeah, was it? Yeah.
That was pretty bad. That was a pretty bad rant, man. You went like full out, man. Yeah. You can't hold it back. We have to have a Reuben rant segment.
We do.
Yeah. We should have a hypothetical segment too.
Oh
God.
No, we're not. We're not.
No.
That's it.
That's off. That's okay. And
we're done. We're done.
All right. So I think we'll probably wrap it. I'm sorry that. Okay, we'll probably wrap it up there. But
I thought my microphone was up.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope that you enjoyed the show. So again, sorry if you didn't hear any news stories that you didn't want to hear. Sorry if you didn't hear any other things that you wanted to hear in the show. Again, thank you to Reuben.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you to Nezar.
Thank you, Fritz.
And from myself, Fritz, as well. Thank you so much for listening. We'll hopefully see you around the same time next week. This has been Tea Time Talk. Over and out.